Hey YouTube, it's your girl Chic from Chic Say What. Good morning to everyone, wherever you are. I wanted to come on here this lovely morning to discuss our girl Brittany Renner. So, yeah, I got some information that I'm like, okay, I kind of was left pondering on. So I'm like, okay, well, let me come on here and bring it to the people to see what the people thoughts are on this little situation. So recently, Brittany Renner was invited by yours truly, Deion Sanders, former sports athlete, professional sports athlete. He played football as well as Major League Baseball. But Deion invited our girl Brittany Renner. I guess when I say our girl loosely, our girl, Brittany Renner, to speak with the Jackson State Tigers about the dangers of flirty DMs. So I look at this situation as it's not so much the message, but the messenger. It's like sometimes, have you ever heard, to where like sometimes it's not about like the message that was said, but it was about who was behind the message, the delivery of the message, the whole presentation, all of that. That's what this is giving to me right now. So I'm gonna share my screen and show the video with her speaking to the young fellas at school. Apparently, she used to go to Jackson State, so I didn't know that. So during my research for this video, I came across a little clip from her speaking on Vlad TV. Some of you may be familiar with Vlad TV. With Vlad, he interviews like a lot of pretty much like anybody, everybody. They just go on there and just tell that man all their little business. So Brittany was on there, and she mentioned that she used to go to Jackson State. So she did go to that school. But like I said, she was invited to come back to Jackson State as a speaker. So I guess we would call her a guest speaker. So I'm like, okay, all right, well, let's, listen and see what sis had to say. So I'm going to share my screen and just some background for any of you who may not be familiar with who Brittany Renner is. For whatever reason. But anyway, Brittany Renner is a woman who became pregnant by an NBA player by the name of PJ Washington. I guess it became like, I guess in the late spring, early summer, became just kind of this big drama filled situation with her becoming, being pregnant shortly after having the baby, leaving. So the question came up as to, okay, well, was sis only around for the sole purpose of getting a baby and then bouncing? So therefore she can kind of later collect on a child support check. So that was kind of like the big thing out there because it was just the way it looked to why she left. It just looked like suspect to many people. And PJ was in his feelings like, oh, I don't, how, acting confused. Like, I don't know why she left. But so a lot of people kind of felt like, okay, oh, she got with the young guy because she's like a lot older than him. We can look it up and see what that age difference again. I did a video out there back when all that kind of was popping off. If you want to go and look at my previous content about the situation, but I did kind of cover the drama, the fallout of what was going on during that time. But yeah, so she was basically kind of like Instagram model, hooked up with a young budding athlete. He's now a professional basketball player. She gave him his first child. It was her first child as well. And when the baby's about 2 months, Brittany grabbed her baby and dipped. So after that, it's just like, okay, well, why we leaving? Is it because we got our baby and basically we quote unquote secured the bag and now we can go and then send bruh the bill for the monthly child support? So it was just a lot surrounding that. But I have a video that I can share as well, uh, where Brittany is talking about just the struggles she's encountered as she's been trying to rebuild her life post her relationship with PJ Washington. So it's layers to this. So first, I want to get into her speaking to the athletes at Jackson State, which is in Jackson, Florida. So let me share my screen so you guys can check out this video with me. Yeah. So let's see. We're going to get into it. So this is from the website complex.com. It reads, Deion Sanders invited Brittany Renner to speak with Jackson State Tigers about dangers of flirty DMs. All right. So let's get into this.
You guys get in these situations where you have your favorite person or you're in a relationship and y'all want to play. Like, there are repercussions to everything that you do, good, bad, or indifferent.
So we're going to stop just that tidbit right there. Sis told no lies in that moment. She's right. There are repercussions in everything you do. Everything. Like, not all the time. Sometimes there's going to be a repercussion. What they say, what you reap is what you sow, or you something like that. You know what I'm trying to say? That's playing out in her life right now. So she is right on it. That's playing out in her life right now.
Different. Because there is a cost at telling the truth, but there is an even greater cost when you lie. So as a man, you be prepared to stand on principle. So if you want to lie and you want to cheat, just like in my situation, then you got to accept it how it comes. Accept what comes behind it. I feel like a lot of men do cheat because they are afraid of, well, what if I'm being faithful and I'm just a duck and she's cheating or lying on me? But the thing is when you cheat, you're really only cheating yourself out of something real, because your relationship is only going to go as deep as you're able to go.
So that part, cheating, lying, scheming, all of that. She's right. You're cheating yourself. You're doing a disservice to yourself. You're wasting other people's time, all of that. Those are the very things that Brittany Renner has been pretty much accused of, as far as like when you're looking at her track record, dating different people, athletes, entertainers, whatever, people who have basically what she doesn't have. As I stated before, PJ Washington, her baby's dad, he's a lot younger than her. So many felt like she preyed on PJ Washington, given how large the age gap was, because at that time I was doing the video, I think she maybe was around 30 years old. And PJ was like early 20s. So there's like a nice little, probably good 8-10 year gap. But I'll have to research that and try to bring up their ages again, because I can't remember. So again, she's saying some good stuff. Yes. But it's not lining up to what we've seen as far as her walk in life. So a lot of times people, like, think about with raising kids. It's always said that, the child is going to pay more attention to what you're doing versus what you're saying. So if you're saying one thing, don't lie and steal, little Michael, but though little Michael see you lying and stealing, you think little Michael's not going to lie and steal? It's that. So let's just take our girl Brittany Renner. She get with a young guy. Yes, he's finding her attractive, feeling like he's the man, but you think he don't know about her past? He might be choosing to ignore it and still entertain her, but he can read, he can hear, he has conversations with people. He know what he's dealing with. So when you put that into play, respect is kind of going to be factored into that. He already going into the situation wasn't having respect for this chick. He was looking at it as though, oh, okay, well, she over here with me now, and she did all this and that. She not somebody I'm probably trying to wife up, but I mean, she looked good. So I'm just gonna make it do what it do. So that's the part that's also factored into when somebody's making a decision on what type of respect they gonna show you. If they and with respect, loyalty, commitment, like all of that can kind of roll up together. So if somebody not finding you to be somebody who's respectable, then the stuff that she's speaking on, they're not going to apply that. For what? They don't value you. So if they don't, somebody's not finding value in you, they're not going to show appreciation for you or for it, whatever it may be. And that's what I feel like Brittany was dealing with, in particular with her last relationship with PJ Washington. He didn't find value in her. And it looks as though to date, she hasn't come across anyone who has found value in her. But it could start with them not seeing that she sees value in herself. That part, like think about, or even men who may be listening to this. You see a woman who's presented in a certain type of way. She's modestly dressed. She has herself covered. She's attractive. And then you see another woman who's kind of got things hanging out, leaves nothing to the imagination. She's attractive too. Now, when you're thinking about how you're going to approach this, would you say that your approach to the one who's modestly dressed, who maybe have on a really maybe nice pants outfit or a nice dress, would you say it's going to be different than when you're stepping to that woman who might have something on that look like she might be either heading to work, to the strip club or not, or to the club? Like, really think about it. Are you going to put more thought into seeing that woman who looked like, she might be some type of professional woman, nice real estate agent, somebody, that's about her business, but, she carries herself with class? You probably going to put more thought into how you're going to step to the woman. So those things, you can't ignore it. And we're going to go back to the video. And I just want to point out too, also Brittany and her attire and how she's physically presenting herself, in my opinion, isn't lining up with the message. So you're sitting here speaking what I deem as a deep message to these young men, but you're sitting there in a mini dress. Like, it doesn't make sense. Like, if I'm going to be delivering an important message, it's going to be important that my message is not going to fall on deaf ears. So with that being said, it's going to make a difference on how I'm going to physically present myself. What am I going to wear? Because I want to make sure that people aren't going to be distracted by something that maybe I can control. Now, Brittany is a beautiful woman, so her face like that, that's that. It is what it is. But what she can control is her attire. What would have been more fitting in this situation is, say, if she did wear a dress, she wore a longer dress, or she wore a nice pantsuit and some heels. There's so many ways that a woman can still look good, even have sex appeal, but still be dressed in a professional manner. I see it all the time. So my question is, with these young men, How many of them you think was maybe focused as she's talking, looking at her body, her legs and things, because she had more legs showing than not, because the dress was really short. How many of you think that they were really honed in on her messaging versus, okay, having fantasies because of what she was giving physically? That's my thing. You can't ignore that. So let's get back to the video.
Go with yourself. And so if you're committed as a man, you gave this woman your word. If you're committed and you don't honor that commitment, then really what are you worth? And where are you going? What are you doing? Because you're wasting your own time. So I don't know if it's just like a hypothetical situation, but I feel like if you're going to cheat on whoever you're with, then just leave. Have some respect for yourself and leave.
See, when y'all get my age and my stage, you gotta learn how to listen. Because when you listen, a woman really tells herself. Do you understand how passionate she was about that? Did you understand how passionate she was about that? You either adding to me, or helping me multiply, or you subtract and divide. And all those people that subtract and divide, pettiness and all that, they gotta go. They're in there for just a moment, because I dismiss them, I flush them, and move on to the next page. I don't even look back.
I can respect anyone's truth, but I do not fuck with liars. Once you lie one time, your credibility is shot. Like there's nothing left to discuss because you don't even respect yourself enough to tell yourself the truth. So if you're gonna that's cool, you lie to everybody else, but don't lie to yourself.
Okay, Brittany. Lies. Right. You can lie to your. She said a mouthful and she is absolutely correct. But again, this is information and jewels that she can apply to her own life. Lying to yourself. Brittany, as a much older woman to this young man who's just entering into the league, what did you really expect to come out of the situation? Let's talk about that part. In your mind, did you really expect that this young man who's new to manhood coming into a league where he's now making like a lot of money, sure, millions, we can look that up. What did you expect to come out of that situation? Mind you, you're what, a good, let's look up and see how old Brittany is. Because I'm feeling like she was lying to herself even in the situation. If she thought that her being with this much younger man was going to be something of substance, like that part. How Sway, how? So it's showing her birthday February 26th, 1992. So this is showing that it's saying 29 years old, but it could be from, doing the math from when this article was done. So we're in 2021. So yeah, so it's still doing the current math. So she's 29 years old. She's from Mississippi, born February 26, 1992. Let's see PJ. Let's see when his birthday is. When's PJ's birthday? So PJ is 23. He was born August 23rd, 1998. 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. So she's 6 years older than him. So it's a little closer than what I thought, but it's enough given that we already know typically they say a female's maturity is kind of on a different type of level than typically a man's maturity. And some may argue that, but needless to say, sis has been around longer than he has. So she's experienced life longer, at least 6 years longer than he has. So that makes a difference. So anybody, when they're choosing to be with someone who's older than them, and when I say older, I'm talking about 5+ years older, you're going to have to factor in life experiences between the two individuals. You have to factor in, because Brittany at 29 has experienced a good amount more than, say, PJ at, what do we say, he at 23. It is what it is. It's just life. So when you're factoring that in, you have to be real with yourself about the experiences that someone may have had thus far. You can't ignore that. So Brittany is right as far as with the lies and lying to yourself and lying to, like, that's correct, sis. But that's where you got caught up at, because you weren't living in your truth. You wasn't living in the reality of what this man would likely be doing at the age of 21, 22, because they broke up when he was 23. So that means, when she got with him, I don't know how many years prior to that she was with him. So let's just say he was 20, 21. That's a baby. Like, he's still dating, trying to feel things out. And here it is, you, I guess, trying to play house, you get pregnant. Like, make it make sense. Brittany, at age of 29, you ought to know better, that you know what you was doing at that age. So I don't really feel like when Brittany rolled up on PJ Washington, it was about, I think that when Brittany rolled up on PJ Washington, it was about her trying to slide in early on before he, quote unquote, got tainted out there in the world, the industry, or whatever. It's like, oh, this a baby. Let me go ahead and lock him down now before the next chick roll up in here, or somebody his age. Like, she treated it like a game. And what they say, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. She treated it like a game. She saw him as a quote unquote prize. And it's just like, let me swoop in, show him all of this, because I know he ain't gonna be able to resist like most of them can't. And let me try to kind of lock him down. And what happens is that when she did that, it didn't work out like she thought. I feel like because he was so much younger, she thought that she would be able to mold him, which a lot of times that is a mindset of people who get with somebody who's a lot younger than them. Let's just be real. Like, it's like the person maybe is not as set in their ways, or you feel like you can kind of control them more because they're younger than you. And I feel like that's what Brittany did. She was like, this is a young guy. He's young, he ain't got all out there, he ain't came across all these other thoughts. Let me try to kind of jump in and put my little magic on him, put my little sauce on it, and lock him down. And it didn't work out the way she thought it would. He was out there sowing his oats, like doing what kids, because he's a kid to me, doing what kids do at that age. So now she's in her feels, because it's like, well, now, I mean, I didn't had a baby. And like I said, I'm going to show a video where she's talking about her plight and her struggles. But sis, it's what you brought on yourself. And one can only hope that you learn from it. So let's finish getting through this video, and then we'll hop over to Brittany's video where she, she kind of let us know what's going on with her. We'll get into that. So let's just finish this video up.
Yourself. Don't lie to yourself. So for me, whatever you put out into the world, you have to get back. It's the Karma Cafe, where you're served what you deserve.
So I appreciate you keeping it 100 and being authentic with us. Let's clap it up for her, baby.
Thanks, guys.
Sis said it's the Karma Cafe, where you're served what you what yours deserves. She said a mouthful. No lies told there, but that applies to everybody, including you, sis. It applied to her as well. So let's jump over to we'll jump over to the article that I talked about where Brittany kind of just give us an update on kind of what's going on with her. So let's get over there. Okay. So this is on brobible.com. So it reads, Brittany Renner claims she's broke, living with her mom, and doesn't have a car after breakup with PJ Washington. So this article is dated December 2nd. This is Brittany and PJ Washington. So the article reads, Brittany Renner wants to clear the air regarding all the online rumors about her. Earlier this year, Renner broke up with NBA star PJ Washington just a few months after giving birth to their son. Washington would later go on social media to accuse Renner of faking their relationship. So this is his tweet back in July. You was faking it all along. After the breakup, a wild rumor circulated online that Renner was receiving $200,000 a month in child support from Washington, which led to fans accusing her of preying on the Charlotte Hornets forward. So someone tweeted, Mar_busy, tweeted, see, nah, this is weird. Brittany Renner was preying on PJ Washington. He was 18 playing at Kentucky. She was 26, about to be 27. TF, does a 27-year-old have in common with somebody who just graduated high school? That's a good question. On Wednesday night, Renner posted a video with a lengthy caption in which she denies all the accusations made against her and claims that she's struggling financially amid her breakup with Washington. So let's see what sis had to say. This was posted on her Instagram page, Bundle of Brittany, where she has 4.6 million followers.
Oh, moved into my new place today. Y'all, when I tell you, I've been thugging. Okay, like, been living with my mom and my sister. It's me, my mom, my sister, my baby. I mean, because, 2.5 months when I decided to leave, maybe it was 2.5 months old, I didn't have anywhere to go. I didn't even have a car. I still don't have a car. I got rid of my car, because, empty promises, whatever. But I've been thinking so hard, bitch. Bitch, this has really been the hardest time of my life. And here I am. Because I thought somebody, right. Because, that to say, don't ever relinquish your independence for a relationship. Follow your dreams, not your boyfriend. A man is not a financial plan. Always have your own things. I honestly feel like since this situation,
she's right. Always have a plan. A man is not a financial, like what I'm seeing. Brittany, clearly, she's not a dumb girl. Like, we just watched her do her TED Talks, I'll call it, at Jackson State. And she said a lot of things that was real, as we seen in the video. If you were here on this live, you saw it with us. If not, you can kind of catch the playback or rewind. But sis said a lot of real things. But what they say, you got to walk it like you talk it. That's the part that to date she hadn't been doing. So all the things that she was telling the young men at Jackson State, those weren't the things that was playing out in her life. So now we're looking at the video she's doing where she's talking about what's going on with her currently, the struggle, um, the mistakes she's made. She's recognizing where she made her mistake at, which was putting all her ducks in one basket, thinking that, okay, I don't have to have anything going for myself. I can just put it all in this one person and feel like I'm good. I think what changed the game for Brittany, which happens with a lot of women, is when a child came in the mix. Because this stuff with PJ, Brittany been doing this stuff in and out. Like, this wasn't her first time at the rodeo, being with a man. Maybe, he lied about stuff. Like, the difference this time was that a child came into play. So Brittany felt like, okay, all these things that she had been doing up to date, up until then, she felt like, okay, once I adding a child to this mix is what's going to really kind of seal the deal and really get me what I want, get me this life I want to have, this, that, and the third. And it didn't work out that way. She wasn't treated any differently because she became the mother of somebody's child. Brittany, from what I pick up, she looked for her status to be elevated, for the level of treatment she was getting to be improved, because she was now the mother of someone's child, and it didn't work out that way. If he wasn't respecting you before he implanted his seed in you, he ain't finna just suddenly start respecting you after. The only difference is that, okay, now he has a child with you. Now, he may love his child and it won't take away with how he feel about his child, but that's not going to change how he feels about you as a woman, and the level of respect that he has for you. Because if that respect wasn't there before, it's not there now. It's almost like how some people will get into these relationships or say they get married and their stuff was messed up before they even walked down the aisle or said I do, before they even brought kids to the situation. But as soon as but they think that just magically after that ring gets slid on their finger on their wedding day, they come back from their honeymoon or they give birth to the child, that things are just going to take a 360 and be completely different and everything's going to be peaches and cream. The one thing that I still remember, and actually I learned this from my mother-in-law, she said, the things that irked you about a person before you got married to them or get married to them, it's going to be enhanced 10 times more post-marriage. Basically, she was saying, from a woman who was experienced and who'd been married for many, many years, that it don't just change because, okay, now I'm getting married. That's not how it works. Change takes effort, and it starts with that individual wanting to change. So if they showing that they good with who they are and they continuing to do those things, then it's either you're going to get in line and be like, all right, then, well, I love this person enough to where I'm just going to deal with that. Or you're going to dip. Because if you have the mindset of, okay, well, yeah, they doing that now, but they'll change after we get married, after we had these kids. Like, if that's your mindset, you got life twisted. And I learned that early in life as an early young girl, with having a mindset of, okay, maybe he had changed. Oh, it only took one relationship for me to see that that's not how life works. That relationship was a high school relationship. And never again did I enter another relationship with a mindset of, okay, this person could change or they may change. If the person who initially was presented to me wasn't somebody that I was good with and could accept as who they were at that time, then I kept it moving. Because people are who they are. And I personally feel like it's wrong to get with somebody with a mindset of wanting to change them. Say, even if it is, they got some messed up with whatever about them. It's not about you changing them. It's about that person growing and evolving and recognizing they need to change for themselves. So if that means that you can't rock with them while they just doing the most and not living to what you believe that is a full potential, then you keep it moving. But I don't think you need to still stick around and be trying to change a person, because what happens is that it creates a resentment and that person starts to resent you. Like, why are you trying to change me? This is who I am. I'm not over here trying to change you that. And nobody should be doing that to anybody. It's not a good feeling. You accept people for who they are. And if you can't, you keep it moving. And if they miss out on the good thing of you leaving, then so be it. As they say, if it's meant to be, it'll circle back around. So Brittany's learning a lot of hard life lessons. And like many of us, that's how we learn lessons, to where some people learn them harder than others. And Brittany's definitely learning it harder than what I've learned a lesson. But everybody's journey is different. So Brittany's experience is what we can look at as more of like a teachable type moment, where we know, what to do, not to do type situation. And the fact that she's putting it out there for people, that's good, because everybody don't put their business out there. She has her business put out there, so it gives us something to talk about. That was her choice. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about it here today for the purpose of trying to present to people where things may have went left. So therefore, anybody who's watching and who may be embarking on men who may be demonstrating certain type of behaviors or characteristics, you kind of know what to look out for, not to do. It's just like I say, it's this is a moment that we can learn from. And that's what we hear. And that's life. Life is, lessons. It's just full of lessons. And we're watching the lessons that Brittany is learning. So let's get back to her video.
I don't think, even if I was married, I can't see myself not having my own house outside of the main house. Like, I would just have my own space. Maybe that will change with time, who knows. But also, it's crazy. Like, people, they want to see you fail. Oh, they want to see you fail. When you don't, they have no control over you. They can't do anything, because all you fucking do is win. Like, God, this girl's still here? Because I thought somebody thought they was gonna, yeah, I thought. You thought. We all thought. I want to say thank you to the people on all social media platforms that continue, God, don't cry, that continue to support me, because this shit's a fucking privilege to have. I'm so fucking thankful. I swear to God, I see the world with a whole different set of eyes now. I really do. Thank you for the people who continue to support me despite the fuckery that I've had to endure after being lied on. Thank you to my real friends and my family that aren't yes men, that have my fucking back. Because that's about the only reason I have some of my sanity. Just thank you. And thank you to the universe for redirection. Thank God I didn't get what I thought I wanted. Because, okay, I'll take a few months of disappointment over a lifetime of disappointment. I forgot to add. Leave after the first lie. People can change.
So Brittany says that one of the lessons she's learned is when she gets married, she wants to still have another house, something like she still wants to have like a plan B, another house. So I think what's going on with Brittany is that she's, from her experience of always being in a situation where somebody else is providing and she not having her own, it has her feeling uneasy about being in someone's space, having to abide by their quote unquote rules. And when she not unhappy, when she not feeling those rules or whatever they trying to give, she don't have anywhere to go or anywhere to turn to. So I feel that when you're dating, yes, it's good to have your own. But when it comes to a marriage, it's a whole different type of mindset. It's a mindset where you're not thinking along the lines of, okay, let me have my own house or my own apartment over here, so if he put me out or what, like, it's a different mindset that you have going into it. So with her making that comment about still wanting to have her own even in a marriage, that lets me know that her mindset is far away from being ready for marriage, because right now she still has this fight or flight mindset because of what she's experienced. So I get that. So she's going to have to heal herself, go through that process with healing. And that's going to consist of recognizing where she went wrong at. Because if she recognizes where she went wrong at, she may see that her getting married and getting with a man who's able to provide a roof over her head, a home, a house for her and her children or her child, she's going to see that based on how she selected this man, she's not going to have a mindset of, okay, I need to have my own over here. Because she's going to know, okay, I already selected a man who's a protector and who's a provider, who loves me, who's faithful, like all of these things, all those checks, all of that would have been checked. So if you have all those boxes checked, you shouldn't be going into a union with a mindset of having a plan B or an alternate home. So that's why I say she's still kind of dealing with just the traumas of just her life experiences, much of which she has brought on herself. So that's where I talk a lot about on my channel about accountability, where Brittany has to take accountability for her actions, which starts with her decisions in the choice of men she's selected thus far. And she now is a mom. She has a son now. So it's more imperative now than ever before that she's selective on who she chooses to be in a relationship with, because stats show that more often than not, abuse on children takes place at the hands of a step parent. So a responsible parent, a responsible loving parent, is going to naturally want to protect their children. They will protect their children. So they're going to be selective about who they bring around their children. So sis' whole mindset is going to have to change as she tries to step back into the dating world. And given that she's an Instagram, she's one to put everything out there on the gram, on the internet, we'll end up seeing, these men that she date. And just by her selections of who she's dating, that's going to let me know if whether or not she learned from her situation. It's going to let me know right there. Just take, for example, the artist Sierra. To me, what let me know that Sierra learned and did some self-reflecting, which resulted in her making different decisions in her selection of men, is by looking at who the father of her first child was in comparison to the father of her last two children, which are by her husband, Russell Wilson. Her first son is by the rapper Future. Those men, polar opposites. You see it's just a complete difference with how both men move, the character, like everything is different. But what it shows me is that Sierra recognized that she needed to make a change, starting with herself, if she wanted to have a different outcome. And that's what Brittany is going to have to do. She's going to have to make a change within herself. It's going to have to start with herself. As she's building, she's talking about how hard it's been. And I can feel it. Like you can see she's, these are real moments that she is having. But one can only hope that she really learns from them and applies them throughout the rest of her life. And as I say, it'll show with the decisions that she make. So let's go ahead and try to wrap up the video. Let's see.
They rarely do. When people are lying about what they're lying about, ain't no fixing that. Ain't no coming back from that, bro. That's how you rockin'. If that's how you rockin', I ain't rolling. Last thing. A lot of people are afraid to leave relationships. Fear of missing out. Like, oh, I built this person up. No one else is going to reap the benefits. I don't want to start over. I'm scared. Oh my God, who's going to want me? Especially as a mom. Because fucking moms, we're just shamed for everything. No one's going to want to be with you. You have a kid, There's just fear of leaving. Fear of just looking stupid. The only time you look stupid is when you allow yourself to look stupid. You don't look stupid when something doesn't work out. And bitch, you've had enough. Or it not even doesn't have to be, I had enough. This doesn't work for me. We are not a match. We are not a vibrational match. And I'm going to be on my way. If anything, I'm smart, bitch. Because I don't have time to waste. My energy is sacred and I treat it as such.
So there you go. She's learned, okay, go where you're celebrated. That is true. If you're not celebrated, you're in a situation, it's not working. It is best to bail out versus to still stay in there. But again, it still goes back to, accountability, taking responsibility on your part in a situation, because in a relationship, it takes two. So you can't spend your time just pointing the finger at the other person in the relationship. You got to spend a good deal of time of taking a look at yourself and self-reflecting, especially if you see that you have multiple relationships that fail or that ends in a similar manner. You got to stop to look at, okay, the common denominator there. And I think a lot of people, men and women, don't want to do that because it's painful. And right now, Brittany, it hurts her to me right now, what I'm picking up from her as she speaks is that she's bothered by the fact that she looks like a failure. And like I said, I think it's the part of her bringing a child into it that kind of took it to a whole nother level for her. Because before, when she was playing these games, there was no children involved. So she can grab her little purse and move on to the next. But now there's a whole life in play. So she's looked at it, as they say, she's being looked at more with, with the magnifying glasses, because it's like, now you're a mom. So we're wanting to see how you're going to move now in these streets now that you're a mom. So the judgment that she may be feeling, it's on a whole nother level, because a woman like Brittany, she's been getting judged. Like, this ain't the first time. But the difference is that now she's being judged on a whole nother level. She's been judged, her parenting, all of that. She's been judged in a different way. And she's a mom. And then too, as a mom, you more often than not, you naturally become this protector, especially when it comes to your child, things like that. So Brittany is, I feel right now, is really motivated to get on her grind because of her child. And that's fine. We all need something to motivate us. We have to tap into that, because what may motivate me may be different than what motivates you, or what motivates Brittany or your neighbor, your mom. Like, it's about identifying what that is that motivates you. And whatever that is, you use that to move on to your next level. And a lot of times our children motivate us. My children motivate me. So if her son is what's going to motivate her to elevate her to do better, present a better version of herself, then I'm all here for it. You know, life can be tough, but as they say, life is what you make it. And Brittany has made things tough for herself. She has. And she talked about having a lot of supporters. She got a lot of so she has supporters that maybe a lot of people who may be experiencing similar things of what she's experienced don't have. So it's a blessing to have supporters because it can help you get through the storm. And as they say, the storm don't last forever. So even with Brittany, whether you love her or you hate her, the storm don't last forever. And she's getting through it as she should, because you can't just sit, lay in a fetal position and cry. You got to pick yourself up and move forward. But as you do that, you got to take those lessons with you so therefore you don't repeat them. And that's what one can only hope takes place with Brittany, that she doesn't repeat these hard lessons, because they're hard. It looks like sis is really feeling it. They are hard. So I'm going back to this video because there was, she wrote text. There was text accompanied to this post on her Instagram. Excuse me. So I want to read what sis had to say. So she said, can you imagine being 29 years old with a baby living back with your parent because you were kicked out of your house? Parentheses, I left willingly because I go where I'm celebrated, not tolerated, in a parenthesis, with nowhere to go without a vehicle. Can you imagine not being mentally, physically, emotionally ready to get back in the gym, let alone host a club after just having a baby, but you have to work to take care of your child? She sounded like a whole mama right there. Do what you got to do. What about being harassed about receiving $200K in child support? Parentheses, which is not true. I don't know why anyone in their right mind would believe such a ridiculous amount, but it's clear the real pandemic is how stupid people are, in the parentheses. Still no. Well, what about being accused of being a pedophile, a gold digger, better yet, a spiteful baby mama keeping their son from his dad when he wasn't even in the same state at the time? All of this has been my reality on top of trying to get things afloat financially, getting back in the groove of social media after being fallen off the face of the earth, and being a new mother. There isn't a person I know that could handle what I've been through. First of all, what Brittany has gone through, a lot of people have gone through. Maybe not on the level of it going through it with an NBA player, but just in life. So, Brittany, this is your first time at the rodeo. Hopefully, it's the last. But sis, there are so many women out here who I've seen, who I know personally, like we all know, who's been through something with a man. So I need you to understand that it is not just you. And if you accept that, maybe you can that can help you navigate through all of this, to know that, hey, I'm not the first and I won't be the last to endure struggle like this. So if other women can endure it and get through it, then I know I can too. That part. She goes on to say, I'm so happy it unfolded in this manner because can you imagine being miserable in a relationship for a lifetime, for a lifestyle you can create on your own? Can you imagine moving from a gorgeous condo in Woodland Hills, California to Charlotte, North Carolina and still not work out? Can you imagine feeling the need to sacrifice everything, parentheses, identity and independence included, in the parentheses, to be loved? I have no shame in my game. I made a lot of money and blown a lot of money. Despite popular belief, I don't have it all together, but each day I do my best, and each day my best gets better. Here's to new beginnings, never giving up, and following your heart. Excuse me. From what she wrote, she sounds like she's learning. One can only hope that she continues on that path to want to do better, if not for herself, for her child. Another part I want to point out when she talks about being miserable in a relationship for a lifestyle you can create on your own. Brittany's also always had the ability to create the lifestyle, the life that she wanted on her own. Brittany chose to take it what she deemed to be an easier route by getting with people who have already put the work in and who have already created a lifestyle that she likes or would like to fit into. That comes with a price. And she's seeing what it comes with when you're trying to insert yourself into someone else's lifestyle. And basically, you're not bringing anything to the table but your body parts. Once you know who you are, you know what your worth is. And you know when you're entering into a relationship, you know what you bring to that relationship. And when you know who you are, as I say, no one else can tell you differently. And Brittany entered into this relationship and the relationships prior to the last relationship without knowing who she was. She has to now go on this journey of finding out who she is, what she can do, what that looks like. So therefore, when she encounters these men getting these relationships, she can wholeheartedly say and show for what it is that she brings to the table, what value she has. And when people see the value that she has just within herself, they will then see the value, they will then see that value in her, which could result in them treating her differently. And even if they did want to try to treat her in a disrespectful way or a way that she's not good with, right away, she will exit the room because she will already know that she's more than that. Because when you know who you are, as I say, somebody can't tell you differently. So if I have respect for myself, I demand respect for myself. I enter a room, and when I walk with respect. Like I exude respect. Somebody not going to come at you sideways like that. And then even if they get it life twisted and they think that they can, you are going to comfortably correct them and go on about your business. You're not going to entertain that. And that's what I hope for Brittany and any other person, young woman, man, anybody. You got to know who you are first. First and foremost, know who you are. Know who you are. Build yourself. Get your own. Therefore, when you're entering to a relationship, you're in addition to what it is that they have. Don't have a mindset to just insert yourself into, okay, what somebody else already have going on. Because more often than that don't ever end well. Like this man, may take you in, provide you his lifestyle, but it's going to be very clear that basically I'm the one who's making all this happen. And without me, you wouldn't have, you don't want that kind of energy. You don't want that kind of energy for yourself. I don't wish that on anybody. I can't imagine that even being a good feeling. You want to have your pride. And Brittany, when she left PJ Washington, she left without her pride. But now she's trying to find it, which is why sis is speaking a different type of language, which is good. So there'll be a lot of people talking about this, talking about Brittany, calling her dodo bird, whatever. But my thing, what I want to mainly focus on is the lessons that she's speaking on. She's giving an indication that she's learning. And when somebody's showing me that they're learning, that they're trying, then I want to give you the benefit of the doubt. But like I said, only time will tell. Her choice in the next man we see her on the arm up, that is going to let us know if she's learned anything. So that's where I'm at with that. Because from how she's speaking, she's learning something. She's waking up. But now we got to see how she moves. With her movement, with her walk, was she walking like she talking? Will that line up? That's what we finna be looking at. That's going to be the telltale. Will line up. So please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I go on live. Today was an impromptu morning live. But this was something that, when I woke up, I saw and I said, let's get on here and just talk about this, because I think a lot of people will more so want to talk about it from the angle of where she went wrong and her past. And not, even though I touched on that, I don't want it to be missed that there is still a chance for her to learn from what she went through, because we all have gone through some things. It's just about learning from them. It's about learning from it. And sometimes I'm a believer that you don't have to experience everything to learn. So somebody like Brittany, every young girl don't have to go out and experience it for themselves to learn. They can look at her situation and be like, and I know what I'm not going to do. One of those like, well, I know what not to do. You don't have to experience everything yourself, but you do have to experience life. But if there are opportunities where you can learn from someone, then you take heed to that. That's what's called common. That's common sense. You learn from that. And I only hope that this situation, like Brittany, even if she needs to sometimes remind herself where she came from, she go back and hit rewind and reflect back on her own video footage or her own posting. Because life can be tough and sometimes we get weak. Sometimes we get weak. And she has to remember she got a little pair of eyes that's watching her. And right now, since, she's a single parent, her mindset has to, be, well, I'm just what my son has. I don't know what role PJ Washington has been playing in the son's life thus far, but the baby, is now having to be in a co-parent situation. And I can only hope that the two can be mature enough to come to some type of agreement to where they can co-parent for their child. One more thing I want to show before I get off of that I didn't. Apparently, PJ Washington, responded to, I guess, the post with Brittany, or the video with Brittany speaking to the athletes at Jackson State. So let me share that. I want to show you guys, what he, what his reaction was to that. So this is on brobible.com. PJ Washington appears to react to his ex-girlfriend, Brittany Renner, talking to Jackson State players about dealing with women on social media. So it's like that was posted on December 3rd. So it reads, PJ Washington appears to have some thoughts on his ex's speech at Jackson State. On Friday, Brittany Renner trended on Twitter after Deion Sanders released a video of her talking to his Jackson State players about the dangers of dealing with women on social media. So the Shade Room post, Deion Sanders recently booked Brittany Renner to help prep his Jackson State University football team for that NFL celebrity life. Thoughts, roomies? So Deion Sanders says, it's my responsibility as a coach to prepare my young men for any and everything on the field and off. I brought in at Bundle Brittany to educate them on how the game is played between men and women at their age and stage. The mess may not be for everybody, but trust me, it's for somebody. Hashtag Coach Prime at Go JSUT, like Justin State University Tigers FB. So that was that post. So listen, Deion call himself, trying to help the bros out. That may be a whole nother video on thoughts of him doing that. I mean, I feel like I've listened to Deion Sanders talk before, and he talks a language like he's a grown man, he's mature, he's evolved, he's gone through something. With this, my mom would always say, when you live long enough, you'll experience some things. Deion has experienced some things. So I respect that, the fact of him wanting to have such a conversation had with his athletes. But again, as I say, the message can sometimes get lost through the messenger. So I think Brittany being the messenger, that may have kind of taken away from really the impact that the whole speech could have had. That's all I'm saying. Just because it's Brittany. And Brittany, as in right now, not Brittany 10, 15, 20 years from now, Brittany who, okay, this is what I used to do. Like, no, we dealing with the Brittany in the real time of what Brittany Renner is on. So to have her be the one to speak to the young men, that part, is just, I would imagine a lot of people are just kind of side-eyeing it, because it's like, okay, really, bro, that's who you chose to come and talk to these men? Like, we with you messaging, but this is who you chose to go with. But okay, so back to this article. So let me see. Quote, you're trying to make it to the NFL. You do understand that there's a lot of games with that, right? To be able to decipher who really loves you for you. I think that's a $1 billion question we're all wanting to know. You are useful, and it's better to useful than useless. You just have to have that understanding that, okay, I have something to offer, whether that's financial, status wise, or whatever. And people do see that as a bonus to be with you. There's nothing wrong with that. But you just have to be aware that nobody is here for nothing. So Washington, who accused Renner of faking their relationship after they broke up following the birth of their son, didn't seem pleased that his ex was advising athletes about how not to get trapped by women on social media. So looks like this PJ, and looks like my little baby. And he just posted a clown emoji. And then he posted, stay woke people be living fake lives out here. So that's the part where I say that I think the message could get lost because of the messenger. That's that thing. And PJ's comment is basically like, okay, your messenger is living a whole fake life. Like, this who you got speaking to your athletes. Okay. So, it is what it is. I said what I had to say about the matter. That's how I feel now. All eyes is on Brittany as usual. We'll see how she continue to move around in these streets. I'm hoping for the best for her, for the sake of her son, for the sake of their son. And, I hope that even with him, there are lessons to be learned as far as with who he chooses to try to wife up, to have children with, like all of that. There's lessons to be learned on both sides. So there's a lot of lessons for both men and women who are watching this play out of, pretty much all age groups. I think there's a takeaway for everybody. Women, have your independence, have your own. Don't be out here trying to look to see what somebody can do for you. Have the mindset of being an addition, enhancing what the person who you're trying to be with have. Like, have something other than your looks, your physical, to bring to the table, because looks fade. Brittany is just one of how many pretty girls out there? Like, as we seen that her looks, that wasn't enough to keep her man faithful. Like, it wasn't. It was enough to get her a baby, but excuse me, as we see that's not, she wanted more than that, but that's all she got. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. So now she's this baby mama who's struggling. Sis says she ain't even got a car. I wonder if she got paid for that little Ted Turner speech that she did at Jackson State University, because she should have. I mean, she said it. How you ain't got no car? Like, you got all these spots. Like, I'm so confused. How you got millions of followers on Instagram? Like, let's go to her Instagram page, because I'm so used to people pushing products, everybody pushing flat tummy tea. Like, how Sway, like, how you not have a car? Like, what could this man have told you that was that, to where I don't even know if you came into the relationship with a car. Like, I'm so confused on how you walked away from this situation at 29 with absolutely nothing but your purse and your baby in tow. Like, oh, look at the little baby. He's cute. I'm confused. Like, let's see if she got any advertisements. Like, because how do you have all these followers but not capitalize off of it? Like, sis, you got some Fashion Nova somewhere. Like I say, everybody swearing up and down they drinking flat tummy tea to have the shapes that they have, even though people with common sense know otherwise. Like, I'm not seeing anything yet where it's talking about, or where it looks as though, let me see. I don't think you guys, let me see. Thought you guys could see. I can't show too much of her page because, it is Brittany's. It is Brittany page, so I don't want the video to be flagged, but it's, as I've gone through her video, this is her little baby. They grew up so fast. My Taurus sun, Pisces, moon, Cancer, rising baby was born May 5th, 2021. Like, you can't, how do you have this million followers and you ain't got a car? Oh, so she does got something talking about Fashion Nova. Okay. Are you making money from them? Because I'm not understanding how you don't have a car. Like, how you, I'm just at a loss. So ladies, like, this is what, like, as I say, what you don't do. You don't just lose yourself in somebody and look for them to do everything for you. Especially like when you're not even married. Now, when you get into a marriage and your husband says, I got you, I'm gonna take care of you, that's different, because there's nothing wrong with, if you're in a marriage, you're with a man who's showing you that he got this hands down. He can take care of you. He can support you. He can protect you. Those are the things, the qualities you look for in a man before they become your husband. So as a wife, if you're choosing to be an at-home wife, a homemaker, you take care of the kids, you hold down the house, that's fine. But when you're not somebody's wife and you choosing to just have your whole world wrapped up in somebody, to where it's to the point where you ain't even got your own transportation, that's a whole problem in itself. That is not a good look. Praise God, Brittany's first child wasn't a daughter that would have to be watching this, because her first example of, womanhood, that's coming from her mom. So it's a blessing that she has a son, because she's not right now a good representation for an impressionable female, an impressionable woman, impressionable young girl. She's not. She has a lot of growing to do. She's 29, so she's young, but she ain't that dang young. So she needs to get it together based on her Instagram video where she was, in her feelings about her struggles. She talking like she didn't learn a thing or two, but like I said, we got to see. We got to see what bundle of Brittany do. So thank you for joining. For anybody who did happen.
Sorry, could you say that again? Sorry.
So my iWatch. Thank you for anybody who did happen to join this live. And for those who catch the playback, please like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when I do go online. I may jump on again this weekend. I don't know. We'll see what moves me. Let me know in the comments how you feel. If you have any comments about this, if there's any other topics or anything you'd like for me to discuss. But, on this platform, I just come out here and just talk about just celebrity news, viral moments, just anything really that moves me that I feel like that could be beneficial for the community. And when I say the community, I speak on behalf, I speak to the Black community, me as a Black woman, a Black content creator. It's important for me to contribute to getting positive messaging out there, in particular to women, young girls, because it's a lot of foolery out there, a lot of nonsense. And I personally feel like it's more of that out there versus the positive type talk. So I want to just, do my part with trying to speak positivity within the community to our young girls, to our young women, to those who are interested in leveling up in their life, who are interested in wanting to one day become wives and mothers and things like that, because the way it's been done right now by the masses within our community, it's not a good look. But I'm just, doing what I can to contribute to trying to help kind of change things for the better, but without just downing our Black women, because there's enough of that going on. So I'm all about kind of positivity and trying to speak positive, a positive message into the situation. So even with Brittany, I want to speak positivity into her and her situation, from a woman to a woman and a mother to a mother, because I know how hard it is just with both. And if I can do it, she can do it. I'm no different than anybody else. It just comes down to what you want to do. And if you're willing to put in that work to get a better result, because that's what it comes down to. You got to put that work in. If you don't like the response that you're getting from people, if you don't like your experiences, like, you have to change. You can't look for the outside world to change. You have to change. And when you start changing, then your results will start to change. And that's facts. That's just how life goes. So until the next broadcast, peace.